Do you know who's going to hack your private information, files, photos, and messages on the internet? I know. So if you do not know, stay on this video. I will tell you in a minute. Hello, my name is Gustavo Troncoso. I'm CEO of Unidos International Foundation. We're going to talk about the internet, and I'm going to make it clear. There's two types of internet. The regular internet, which you go into and you have fun, entertain yourself, or work. And then there's the dark internet. We don't want to talk about the dark internet. You need a code or an algorithm to get into the dark internet. And that's not something that we want to talk about. Now, the reason I want to make a difference between the open and free internet and any other internet around there is that everything I'm going to talk about, it's about the free internet. The internet that you and me, common citizens, use every day. I must continue saying that I think the internet is immensely safe. I must continue saying that I'm totally against teaching with fear, marketing with fear. There is no fear. There's no need for fear. The internet is safe. Most of the users are safe. And it doesn't matter how many people get hacked every day and all those statistics you're going to hear. All it matters is that it's still very low, fortunately, and you're not at high risk. So believe it or not, you're still pretty safe on the internet. So I just want to make that clear. You're still really pretty safe on the internet. Now, do we want to make it safer? Yes, we do. Do we want to become absolutely private? Yes, we do. Why? Again, I want to say it again. Because of a concern? No. Because we deserve our privacy. We have a right to our privacy. And we definitely want our privacy. Let's talk about the real threats on the internet. Who are they? There's three kinds of threats. The people who live off the internet, so they wake up every day and hack somebody to go pay their bills. The next ones are the people who are upcoming and they want to hack into companies. They want to get databases of information. And the kid who's out there on the internet, very intelligent, high IQ person who just want to hack somebody for fun. Then he might turn into a real big hacker. But at the beginning, it's just your kid. It might be your neighbor. It might be your cousin. I don't know. I have no idea. But a vast majority of the people who are breaking your privacy on the internet, believe me, are between the age of 16 and 21. Now, did somebody woke up today and say, I'm going to hack John or I'm going to hack Mary, who live down the street, so I'm going to go ahead and see if I can hack him today and make a penny? No, doesn't work that way. It takes a long time for somebody to go hack you, and it's got to be something very, very worthy to him for him to spend all that time before he hacks you. So let's agree that most of the people on the internet are pretty safe. If you watch TV, if you go on any of the apps that offer TV, they provide your security. Trust me, they don't want you to be hacked. If you work a lot on the internet, the company you work for, they provide the security. They don't want the company to be hacked. So before we discuss who's going to hack you or not, you're going to find out when. We need to find out when are you at risk to be hacked? What are you doing to get hacked? And at what time? In what condition exactly are these people going to come in and steal your privacy? The funny thing is that hacking is like fishing. They don't need to plan anything. They just go out there and fish. When are you going to get hacked? You're going to get hacked mainly through your email. That's the first spot that you're going to get hacked. The second place you might get hacked is when you go into the adult webs. Now, not the real ones, not the ones that work and sell pornographic materials. Those are the ones that are put out there fake so that you go in, give them their information, trust them, and then they're going to hack you. Again, I repeat, not the real sites for adult content, but the ones that are fake. So now you know, and let's make it clear, you're going to get hacked when you're having fun, relaxing, or playing around. It's not going to happen mostly in your daily activities. It's not going to happen mostly in your work activities. It's going to happen when you have your guard down, you're relaxing, enjoying something you like, and there's where they get you. They might go out there to fish for your banking information. They might go out there to fish just to get into your files on your computer, or they must just be out there fishing to see what they can get. So those are the three types of hacking or phishing, as I call it. The first thing you must know is that most everything on the internet is fake. Believe it or not, 90%, maybe 80% of the information you get is not reliable. I'm not going to say fake. I'm going to correct that. I'm going to say not reliable. Most social media sites have an immense amount of fake profiles. How do you know if it's a real profile? You've never heard the voice of the guy or the girl. You've never seen a picture of him. You've never seen anything. You don't know him. You believe what you see on your screen. That's your number one mistake. Believe it or not, there's a huge battle by this social media company to do away with the fake profiles. They're dangerous. They might extort money out of you. They might extort information out of you. So rule number one, don't trust a profile because he's got a beautiful face, a nice picture, or because he came out of a prestigious university or college. Does he or she on that profile have many other photos on the internet? Do you see videos of them into the family enjoying? Do you see other activities related to that profile? All you have to do to find out if the picture in that profile is real is grab that picture, slide it into Google, and every other picture in there, the same picture or probably close to it, will appear and tell you if it's mostly what happens, a marketing picture, models that get paid to give out their picture for anything on the internet, any marketing promotion or anything. That's the first thing you need to do. The second thing you need to do is research a little bit. Go see if he's got any other social media accounts, or she. Go check YouTube if she's got any videos, or he. Check around. Most real profiles, you will find lots of information related to that person, confirming that that is the real person in the picture or in the photograph. Don't trust them because they're on LinkedIn. Don't trust them because they're on Facebook or Instagram. Trust me, they have a big problem with fake accounts, and you have to understand that. Probably 30 or 40%, maybe, I don't know, I may be wrong on the statistic, but at least 30% of the people who contact you will be fake accounts. So the first thing you need to do is don't trust because you just saw it on LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram. Just don't trust what you see. That is the principle number one. Investigate. Become knowledgeable about the person you're going to talk to or give any information to. The second thing that I've made it a personal rule, don't click on any one of your emails. Any attachment on your email that needs to be opened with a click, do not do it. Write back to that person and say, send me an open file or paste it on text on this email. Do not click on anything that comes in your email. Sorry for the ones who are sending the right materials, but it's just too many fake ones out there. So I would, as a personal rule, I don't click on anything on my email. I just don't do it. Once you click on that, there might be a virus, a Trojan. I don't care. It doesn't make a difference. They have something that will sit in your hard disk and it'll last there forever. Email could be fun. It could be pretty productive when you work through email. Just have to be careful. Again, rule number one, do not trust it because they say click on this file. We have a business proposal for you, or click on this file. You've been selected for a job, which is used pretty much now that 50 million Americans were unemployed. Do not do it. Again, the normal methods of contacting somebody through an email would be a simple text message or written message or typed message, whatever you want to call it. And all the information you need to know is right there. They might direct you into a website. They might give you information to go elsewhere. Unless you have researched that person or you know him, do not do it. That is the way most people get hacked. They are careless. They trust everything on the internet, and they click on that little thing that looks blue or beautiful. Do not do it. And the last one is be pretty careful which website you go into. You have to be pretty knowledgeable about the internet. There's dozens of websites that if you put the web name in that other website, they'll tell you if it's a scam. There's dozens of places you can go and check if that domain is being used for scamming. Again, you need to do some research. You got to become a little knowledgeable on what you're doing on the internet. Remember, it's an open place. Anybody can go in and do whatever they want, say whatever they want, show themselves however they want. They can appear to be kings and queens, but they're actually frogs and crickets. Now, I can sit here for 10 hours and give you all the information about how risky this is, what time they're going to hack you, who is going to hack you. I can do that and spend a lot of time. But I go farther than that. You see, it doesn't matter how risky the internet is. There's one principle that makes it pretty simple. If you're invisible, they can't hurt you. I told you I was going to tell you who's going to hack you, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. Anybody in those three groups can hack you. Now, they didn't wake up today and planned on doing it. I call this the fishing expedition. They go out to fish. The biggest fish, if you are not knowledgeable, if you are trustworthy and you trust everybody, and if you are careless, you will get hooked. The biggest fish in the pond will be the one who gets hooked. So you see, let's make this clear. I'm going to tell you again, the internet is pretty safe. I'm going to tell you again, most people on the internet don't get hacked. The ones who get hacked are the ignorant, the ones that didn't want to go out there and research. They're not thirsty about knowledge. They don't care about learning anything. And I don't want to offend anybody, but those are the people who fall into the cracks, and those are the people who are going to get hacked first and their information taken. Not because they're following you, not because they want it, but because you were just out there, one of the biggest fishes in the pond. And as they throw that hook out and they bring it back, you're going to be one hooked. I continue saying it's not about the danger of the internet. I completely believe and I understand that you take a risk when you go online. But you have to understand that is a minor risk. It's not a huge risk. And when you take that risk, it's when you're careless, when you're resting, when you're enjoying, because they know you have your guard down. They know you're tired. It's probably after a day's work. So be careful. Just pay attention. Learn a little bit about the internet before throwing yourself into that pool of people with absolutely no knowledge about the real risk. Now, why am I telling you this? Because most of the statistics on the internet are pretty scary. If you go out there, most of it says somebody gets hacked every minute. It's okay, but compared to the millions and billions and trillions of people using the internet, realistically, a very small percentage gets hacked. Everybody else doesn't. Your privacy is something you deserve, and nobody has a right to go into it without your permission. Now, why don't I go out and give you all the data and all the stuff that is on the internet and how safe or not safe? How are you in danger of what time, even more than I've done it? Because it's already on the internet. You can go research yourself. You can go to Google or any other browser and you can find out exactly most of the information you need to know. So I'm just giving you the basics as a method of you as a user of the internet. I don't want you to follow anything. I want you to follow 3 principles that will basically keep you safe. Don't trust what you see. Go investigate everybody on the internet that wants to get related or have any type of relation with you. There's many, many ways the internet will tell you that. And the third thing is, be careful even when you're resting, when your guard is down. You need to know that when you go on the internet, you have to be careful. So before I worry about all the statistics and how dangerous it is to be on the internet, which I still, again, I say it's still pretty safe, let me give you a principle that I've used in my life, and it's worked pretty well. It's actually worked all my life. The principle is called prevention, preventive measures. Taking preventive measures means that you have to go find out what's going to happen, information and knowledge beforehand. You need to be informed before you do something or make a decision. Let me tell you how I developed most of my businesses. People thought I was really smart. People thought, some of them, that I was really lucky. And people thought, well, he comes out of a wealthy family. He must be using his father's money or some kind of inheritance. But that's not the case. Let me tell you how I did it. And that is what I do all the way up to today. And that is what took me to where I am today. Let me tell you how I learned and how I apply this preventive solution or preventive method. My father's 87. My father's probably one of the most intelligent people that I've met. You can sit with my father and talk to him about anything you want. He'll be knowledgeable. He'll be able to give you advice. And even better, he'll make the conversation really enjoyable. First, I learned persistence from my father. He was a very persistent man. The second thing is I learned something that I've never heard before. He said to me, never call a problem. You just call them a situation I have to resolve, a situation that will be resolved. With that thing in mind, I always thought, doesn't matter where I was, what kind of problem I was facing, I always got out of them. because I never saw that problem as a problem. I saw the problem as just a situation I need to resolve. You see, it's a state of mind that most people today don't understand. During the past 10 years, I've been seeing something that I really didn't know if I was just looking too far or too deep or I was mistaken. But I'm seeing people and their desire to live evaporate. Most people don't want to live. All they want is to exist. You see, a dog exists, a cat, livestock exist, but we as human beings were created to live. If you expect that your life doesn't have any ups and downs, that'll be existing. Ups and downs in your life make your life livable. Nothing happening in your life doesn't make your life anything. It just makes it your existence, which is very different from living. Existing, the plants exist. You know, the rose in your garden, the trees in your backyard, they exist. We humans, we live. And accepting that we have ups and downs, problems and challenges is what makes us alive. Not accepting those is what makes us exist. So now more than ever, I'm seeing more people quit. Now more than ever, I'm seeing more people stop living and start existing. You see, obviously now more than ever, because we've been quarantined for months, because fear is here now more than ever in our lives, because this opportunity has been used by many to take advantage of everybody out there and become rich. Now, it is very important to understand and to know that it's all mental. It's all in your head. And many, many years ago, my father taught me that principle. You have no problems. All you have is a lot of situations to go and resolve. So I did. I went out there and took care of them. I'm still doing it today. You see, I became a CEO in 1990, and I was able to become a CEO. I was already working for 7 years before that. I was always hungry for knowledge. I can't say I'm a book reader, even though I'm a book author. And I can't say that I will sit down and devote 40, 50, or 60 minutes learning anything in my life. But I can tell you that I'm perseverant. I can tell you that until I found that solution, I was not going to stop. As my father said, you don't have a problem. You just have something to go and resolve. Now, I'll tell you a pretty simple example how I built my businesses. And it's a pretty simple example, but it's one of them. Say you live in California. Pretty comfortable, beautiful area, beautiful place, pretty safe too, by the way. Some people say no, it is very dangerous. But again, it's a matter of statistics. It's a matter of how you see things in your mind. So say I wanted to open a business, security business in California. What I did was went to Mexico, open a business, security business, cheaper, cheaper labor, a lot of people available, 30 or 35 million people just in Mexico City, and opened the business. I spent a year, maybe 2 years, running that business, talking to customers, analyzing the risk, analyzing the solutions. And once I learned everything I had to learn about that business, I came back to California and opened one in California. You see, Mexico City is a lot more dangerous than Orange County or Beverly Hills or Marina del Rey or Irvine, California. So whatever I learned in Mexico, I brought back and applied in the US. It's pretty simple. You know, Mexico was more dangerous than California at the time I was opening the businesses. So all those principles, being Mexico our neighbor, were eventually going to come into the US. It's very simple. If you live in a home, your kid is perfectly safe, does everything you tell him. The neighbor is a troubled kid, takes drugs, no discipline, no care for nobody. How long is it going to take if your kid sees the neighbor every day to become like the neighbor? So basically, going to another country, going to a different zone, going to some place that is either more advanced or in disadvantage to where you live provides a pretty good benefit. It's like seeing the future. So came back, opened a business, security business, And that business looked like it had all the preventive measures that you needed. Was I a psychic? Was my IQ very high? No. I just wanted to go learn the business elsewhere when I knew that because being so close, we were going to get affected. And those things that I saw, those ways of society, were eventually going to come into California. Now, I look pretty smart, and I look pretty much a good businessman. It's a matter of knowledge. It's a matter of you moving around and finding what's going to happen to you when it's happening to somebody else, maybe miles and thousands of miles away from you. And I'm not saying that you have to go out and travel the world. Most people can't do that. But preventive measures come out of knowledge that you acquire in a place where it's already happening. Most of my businesses, when I wanted to establish a business in Europe, I established an office in a place called Ceuta, which is by the Mediterranean Sea in Africa. Why there? Because it's only 14 square miles, I think it is, or maybe a little more, I have no idea, of a piece of Spain in the continent of Africa. So before I moved to do business in Spain, I opened a business as close as I could to Europe. I learned everything that was happening, everything that was going to happen to Europe, everything coming from Africa into Europe, and then I went and opened business in Europe. Everywhere I went, I did the same thing. Acquire the knowledge that I needed to come into the market with a business that will offer preventive measures. Preventive measures. There's nothing better. They'll actually make you look good and smart, but it's just a matter of having a system of knowledge. Some people read books. Some people now research on the internet. Some people like to go and watch videos. Great. Well, in my case, I decided to go live it first, do it myself, make the mistakes I needed to make in a place that were cheaper and easier, and it wasn't going to affect my life that badly, and then come in where I wanted to come in and take the big risk, knowing that I've gone through them already, pretty much found the solution and solved them, and now I can offer people a business that will not only offer preventive measures, but will also give them a solution. You see, it's something I've done all my life up to today. Now, how do I prevent getting hacked on the internet? How do I prevent that when I use the internet, none of my private information goes out to the hands of somebody else? Besides being careless, which is the worst thing you can do, besides being not knowledgeable, to not say something else, which is the worst thing you can do, and besides not paying attention to advice some people might give you. Now, this is a principle that I've used all the way up to today. You see, when you go on the internet, yes, some of the things are going to be risky. Most of them are not. But as I said in other webinars or videos, it doesn't matter. They're not looking for you. It's still pretty safe. And it's not about being safe or not. It's about your privacy. Yes, I can sit here for hours and hours and hours and tell you all the risks, but I'll do the same thing, and I'm still doing the same thing I used to do when I opened my businesses. I take preventive measures. So we've created an app that'll let you go and share information on the internet completely invisible. And let me give you an example. There's a pretty dangerous neighborhood, a couple of blocks from where you live, that you have to go through to get to work. Now, would you worry about how dangerous that neighborhood is if I can make you invisible? So every time you walk or drive through that neighborhood, nobody will see you. If nobody can see you, nobody can harm you. They wouldn't even know you're there. You could go right through whatever amount of blocks that neighborhood covers and be completely and absolutely safe. Why? Because you took preventive measures. You are somebody who is knowledgeable first about the dangers of the neighborhood and decided there's many dangers for me in that neighborhood. What is the best thing I can do? Well, the best thing you can do, if it's godly possible, would become invisible like in the movies and go walk right through the neighborhood. We're not in the movies. We're on the internet. the digital world. And in the digital world, I've learned every spot, every little thing you need to learn about how you are unsafe. Am I going to worry about that? No. I've already done my preventive work. All I did now, our group, it's not me, our group, we created an application that makes you invisible, makes your files invisible, your name invisible, your private information invisible. And you can travel all over the internet. We'll discuss in another webinar that you will leave no record or no track where you went, what you sent, and who received it. And who cares now? Who cares about the dangers of the internet? Who cares about the hackers? Who cares about everything that's going to affect your life on the internet? If you're going to be walking through the digital world completely invisible. So again, I apply the principle my father taught me. You don't have a problem to go on the internet. There's absolutely no problem for you to go on the internet. You have a situation to resolve. Go do it. So we did. We created an app that makes me, you, and everybody invisible. The name is up there. You can go on the internet, download it. It's on the Apple Store and Google Play. Completely free. Try it out. There's also a user manual information video in my profile, in linking. Download and see what that app does. It actually makes you invisible, and it makes your files, your photos, your videos, your chats, your video conferences, everything completely invisible over the internet. So people, stop worrying about the internet. Stop worrying about the hackers and the dangers and the danger of your information. Stop worrying about it and go out and solve it. Go out and get something that will solve that problem. Remember, I'm going to say it again and again and again, like my father said. You do not have a problem. You just have a situation to resolve. So do it. There's plenty of resources out there you could do it with. There's probably somebody else who offers another protection. So do it. Don't get stuck on the problem. Don't get stuck on the fear. Don't get stuck on the idea that there is problems on the internet. Even that there is risk on the internet. You know why? Because there's risk everywhere. There are problems everywhere. So for that matter, like I've said before, just forget of living. Just become something that exists. Don't face the problems. It's okay if it makes you happy to exist. You can do it. Just exist. If you want to live, gotta face the threat. Don't be fearful. Resolve the problem. It actually feels pretty good when you can do that. Trust me. I've done it all my life. And I want to say it again. Am I special? Am I smart? I'm just different. I'm just somebody who took advice from somebody else. In this case was my father. And in my mind, set up to say, every time I faced a challenge, this is not a problem. It is a situation to be resolved. That is the exact translation of what my father said. It is not a problem. It is just a situation to be resolved. So you do it. It is not a secret. It's something I want to share. I'm passionate about educating people and sharing the knowledge. I tell all my fellow CEOs, guys, it's time to go out there. All that 20, 30-year knowledge, people need it out there. Not the statistics, they're all on the internet. Not the facts or irrealities of what's going on. People need a way and a system to face problems. People need information. And I'm not talking about the one in the books. I'm talking about you and me went through while we went up and down in our business life and learned. People need new methods of thinking because the old ones failed. I really can't believe that 80% of the businesses in most countries in the world, will not survive COVID-19. I can't believe that a business that made millions a year can be shut down for 6 months because you go broke. There's no preventive measures. Nothing. As a financial advisor to companies and clients, I always tell everybody, because it's a general rule of finance, you should at least have a year of income saved somewhere, just in case of an emergency. I can't believe those many companies did not have it. Not 2 months, not 3 months, not 6 months could they be closed and operate because they had no savings. People who've been entrepreneurs forever and ever and ever, who know the business world and the financial world, couldn't sustain themselves for 6 months. They're not applying the preventive measures system. They're not. And most everybody's not doing it. And again, not because they're stupid, not because they're ignorant. It's just because nobody took care of telling them, hey, here's a system that has worked for me. Why don't you try it? I've been doing it for a couple of decades, and it's brought me to a good place. So why don't you do it? You see, I have a couple of people telling me that, what, are you crazy? You had 3 products, digital products, to launch in 2020, I'm sorry. Why would you do that now? Why would you do that now? Why would you go ahead and launch your products during COVID-19 when the world is practically stopped? I'll tell you why. Again, I apply the same principle in my life. By year 2021, if you were an entrepreneur, wholesale, retail, I don't care, you're going to see sales rise probably 200%. You're going to need more space in your store. You're going to need more storage for merchandise. And you're going to need to update your systems for all those new customers, clients you're going to have. Now, when do you start preparing for that? When the demand comes in? No. When do you get ready for this is going to happen? Now, you might say, well, since you already said you're not that intelligent or smart, why should we believe you? Pretty simple. It's a rule of life. It doesn't matter how far down you fall, there's always going to be a bottom. And when you hit that bottom, everything from there on is going to be going up. Everything. Or why do you think any city in the US opens a beach and you see 500,000 people like never before went to that beach? That is a normal rule in life. When you get down, all the way down to the floor, the next thing you're going to see is just the way up. So I told these people, I said, well, I'm going to launch him now because I'm going to have twice the sales, the customers or clients that I projected for 2021. I am taking preventive measures to prepare myself for what's coming in 2021. Why? It's very simple. Because I've done business in other countries. I've seen those countries go through war. I've seen some of those countries, their currency devaluate 2,000, 3,000, some of them 20 and 50,000%. Now I know how they did to survive and what they had to do. Because I've seen terrible things in countries much less blessed than the US. So trust me, I know when anybody, any country, any city, any community is going through hell, when you touch the bottom, everything from there on is going to be going up. Now, let's apply those principles to the internet. What do we know? We know that for the past 20 years, the internet has been growing steadily, most everywhere in the world, except the US because we were the first ones to have the internet. Now, also we know that every day, since at least a decade or two ago, technology was getting better, hardware was getting better, and the time we spent on the internet was more and more. Now, as a result of COVID-19, the internet has just completely went crazy, and now the amounts of people on the internet are like never before. You think that trend's going to come back to what we were before? No. Everybody's going to have to adapt to become a part of the digital world. I'm not a scientist telling you, hey, this is going to happen or that's going to happen. It is happening now. You can see it everywhere. So why? Do you want to wait till the internet becomes a daily life thing? Are you going to wait and still be ignorant about all the things you need to learn about the internet? It makes no sense. Now more than ever, you know that the internet is going to become number one priority. Well, after getting a job, I got to tell you that, because 50 million Americans and millions more, every country in the world that I know, unemployed, now has become number one priority, getting a job. But I'm not being a psychic. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. Digital world, the internet, is going to become a very important part of our lives. My solution, in my case, my company, my family, my customers, make them invisible. That way I save a lot of time and explanation. That way I save them a lot of money. Actually, a lot of money they can lose too, buying things they don't need. Make them invisible. It doesn't matter how much more you're going to use the internet. Being invisible, one problem, two problems, or 1,000 problems you're going to face become one solution. Like I've mentioned in other videos before, I was going to give you a solution. Every time I bring a problem and I bring some knowledge to you, I'm going to bring you a solution. It makes no sense that we sit here and for an hour or two, or 10 minutes or 20, talk about all the problems without giving you a solution. That's what the world's become. The world's become a place where everybody complains, but nobody has a solution. So please understand, even though I'm here to give you knowledge, I am here also to give you a solution. And 4 of our digital products that will be launched during 2020 are solutions to the world during COVID-19 and post COVID-19. This is not some kind of marketing scheme, and this is not advertising on the internet. Again, the name is up there. The application is free. You can go download it. So basically, it's a deep desire to share my experience of working as a CEO all over the world and telling you a little bit about the methods that have brought me to success. A lot of failures, don't be mistaken. I failed 10 times before I succeeded 1. But those 10 failures became a learning process where all the knowledge that I needed, I accomplished. Don't be afraid of failing. It doesn't matter. Just make sure you do it in enough time so you can enjoy the fruits of your labor. But again, like I said before, there's going to be ups and downs in life if you want to live. Or nothing's going to happen in your life if you want to exist. Last but not least, I want to apologize to those who get offended by the mask. I say it again, there's my face up there without a mask. I have to take care of the people around me that help me, and I got to take care of me not to get infected by the people around me. One day we'll stop wearing masks. For now, I tell everybody, stay safe. You have to go to work, or if you choose to go to work, stay safe. If you want to go out and play, stay safe. All the time, stay safe. This situation will pass. We will surpass this situation and we will be winners. Remember one single thing. God is on our side. Thank you again for listening to me. Thanks.